Welcome to After the Last Song, where we discover the people behind the dance shoes and the communities that they inspire. Today's guest is Terry Roseborough, a champion in both UCWDC Country and WSDC West Coast Swing. As a competitor, instructor, and organizer, Terry has spent years not only excelling on the dance floor, but also helping to build and support a dance community in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Terry, thank you so much for joining me. Welcome to After the Last Song.
Glad to be here. Thank you for having me, Miss Nye.
Oh, you're so sweet.
Mhm.
So I wanted to kind of like start this a little differently than I've done the other ones. I don't know if you've heard any of the other ones I've done.
Not yet.
Um, I try not to make it exactly the same. I like change out what I'm asking and what we're talking about because everybody's unique and they need unique questions.
True
At
that.
least
True
that's the way I
that.
look at it.
Ditto.
So let's talk about the two dance worlds. They're completely different.
Yes,
Don't
they
die.
are. Hmm?
Don't die.
Yeah. It's kind of stalling every now and then. Are you saying that part?
No, I am not.
Must
Actually,
just be in mine.
it records to the cloud. So, if there's a buffer, so you might see something slow down, but it won't on the final resolution.
Oh,
I was
okay.
surprised about that. I watched that happen to Gary because he had a lot. It's apparently like fell out a couple times, but it really didn't when I looked at the final cut.
Really?
Yeah.
Maybe that's
So I
just
don't.
on his end.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Okay,
think so.
cool. Because in your pain, you're
I'm
like
sorry.
that. I'm like, there's a dance move that calls like it's called the glitch, where it's like you know, kind of has that effect.
I'm pretty
Cool.
sure stop and lock isn't that good.
Hey, girl, go for what you know, baby.
So, having lived in both country and West Coast swing worlds, what has each community taught you?
Wow, what have they taught me? Well, they both taught me about community. I felt more family-like in the West Coast swing community. Not that the country and Western world didn't, but I felt more family-like in the West Coast swing world. This was early on in the 80s, and it's still kind of family-like, but it's not the same. The family-like when I started was you felt like family. To give you an example, there wasn't that many black people in West Coast swing when I started. In fact, there was only a handful, period, uh, and it was less black females than there were black males. More at the forefront. I'm not sure about the clubs because, I didn't live everywhere, but in the scene, like in the circuit, there was only a handful of us. And me entering as a black person, not just a black male, I kind of had this, what is it going to be like? There's a lot of different, not very many black people. So it kind of feels uncomfortable during that time, but it wasn't the case. They made me feel like family and it was like a second family that I had. So that was awesome. So it was more that way that I felt in the West Coast swing world than the country world. But that's not to say that the country world didn't have the family life. So I felt that. I'm just saying that it was more like that in the West Coast swing world.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yep. As far as what they taught
Has
me, that as well. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Every
Every
word
word
you
you
say
say
is
is
valuable.
Girl, you're too sweet to me. That's why we friends.
That's right.
Long
That's
time
why we friends.
friends. Yeah,
Many, many
that's a
years.
very good question. A lot of years. I'm not gonna age myself though, Jennifer. I'm not gonna age myself.
I'm still in my 20s,
Y
30s. We'll
Hey,
stay there
girl.
for a while.
This is the new 39, although I'm 59.
There we go.
Whatever.
Yeah, 39. 39 was a good year.
I don't even remember it.
Oh,
See,
what
what has it
strengths
taught me?
does each community have that the other could learn from without being too judgy?
But but I've been too judgy. Well. It's been a while since I've been in the country circuit, but, I would say in the competition area, in the country circuit back then, it felt more like the seriousness about the dance was more there than it was in the West Coast swing world. But with the point system, not to knock the points, I was around before the points was even started, so I know why they started. And I didn't see the whole stigma that it had come about with people being so serious about the points. So it wasn't the system that created it, it was how the people treated it. Does that make sense?
It does.
In the West Coast swing world. Um, and I didn't see that so much in the country western world. They were more serious about their dance. And within the country circuit, you had like multi dances, meaning it wasn't just one dance like West Coast swing. You had your ballroom dances plus your country dances. So you got a lot out of that, and you got to learn different styles and a little bit different techniques, which is awesome. But the way they handled the competition side was actually cooler than it was in the West Coast swing world. I'm sorry, not back then, but comparing it to now. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's a totally different animal. I agree with you. Like, haven't done that myself.
That's right. I want to see videos.
Oh no.
Yes, yes, yes,
Maybe
yes, yes.
next. So I actually just spent time with one of the ladies I used to travel with on the country and the West Coast swing circuit. I spent some time with her last weekend and the weekend before, and she was like, "Okay, I'm gonna start doing country again. When are you doing country again?" And I'm like, "Oh, I guess I best go find out if those dresses fit."
That's just an
Next thing is
excuse to go
finding
get some
somebody to
different
dance with
ones.
me. Say again?
Oh, that ain't gonna be hard.
Oh. You're so sweet.
I
So,
try.
huh?
I try.
Yeah, you succeed.
Hmm?
You succeed.
Hey, girl.
We already did that one. What has surprised you most about watching both communities evolve over the years?
Not so much in comparison, but addressing each of them on their own. Uh, the surprise I got with the country circuit was how they evolved into having their non-country dances look like ballroom dances. Example, like your Latin and your waltz. Whenever I quit, I think I quit in the mid '90s. I just didn't want to handle both worlds of politics. Having both worlds of politics was just like, oh, this is nerve wracking. So I quit the country, but that wasn't the only reason why I quit. I quit the country circuit at that time because um, I saw more in the future ahead of the time thing. My desire was I was looking at the Latin competitions and looking at the smooth, standard competitions, I think they call it. And being so amazed with those, I'm like, that's how I want to dance. I'm doing a waltz, I'm doing a cha-cha. I want to look like that because that's what they're doing. But it wasn't like that in the country circuit, let alone wearing the boots.
Yeah,
It's cute and all, but it's
that's
like
true.
the foot don't look the same. I mean, trying to, point it
Mhm.
and all that stuff, right? And I wanted to look like that, but there was no support for that. Now, what does it look like now? The waltz looks like the waltz in ballroom, and the Latin looks like the Latin. It actually looks like a cha and I'm like, well, that's what I wanted to do in the '90s, but nobody wanted to support that. I'm out, so I quit and I left. Yep. And then it's funny because what surprised me is that wait a minute, that's what I wanted to do, and now years later, that's what you're doing. Hello.
Well, provided you had the right dance partner, do you think you could be talked back into joining again
Well,
for a dance or
actually,
two?
what's funny is that when I quit in the '90s, I revisited it for just a short period of time in 2013 with my very first uh, country western dance partner. And that's Nicole Wardell.
That's
You know that
awesome.
name?
I know
She
that
was
name.
17. She was 17. I think I was 18. And we partnered and we won the Marlboro competition here in Tulsa. And we went to Oklahoma City for the next round. And I think we didn't make it to the next round, but we danced good, and I think we placed not too far below, but we didn't make it to the next round. She went off to do ballroom in Vegas or something. I can't remember. Vegas, maybe someplace, and I didn't want to go. So she went there, and I stayed here. And then my next dance partner, her name is Suzanne McCowan, and we did well. That's when I really progressed through the circuit. And then we quit. That's when I quit. When I said, I don't want to do this anymore because y'all are not looking like the Latin dancers and the ballroom
Mhm.
dancers. Then I revisited the circuit with Nikki again, Nicole again. but it
That's
was
pretty
just too
cool.
much to try to do both worlds, so
Yeah.
we didn't progress further, but it was such a great time with her. She is so awesome, so amazing. Love that girl. Um, she makes anybody a good partner. That's all I got to say. I was
Well,
lucky
yeah,
enough to have her for a partner when we were very young. Hercules, Hercules, Hercules.
Yeah,
But to
she's
answer your
amazing.
question, um, I thought about it, Jennifer. Even in the last 2 or 3 years, I thought about it, but it just has to be the right time and the right place, like you say, the right partner. I could probably be convinced, but it'd be a lot of work. I would be juggling both worlds again, so I don't
Yeah,
know.
that's true. And
But
then
right here, yeah,
yeah.
I still feel it, babe. I still feel it.
Well, that's the important thing right there.
What about you?
So oh, I have to find a partner first. Honey, you live in Tulsa.
Hey, you and me both. Yeah.
I know, right? Yeah, not a lot of country dancers in Huntsville.
I have to grow some.
But, maybe I'll go to Nashville. It's a couple hours away.
Hey. Well,
There's
that's
a
not
few
too bad.
people up there. Maybe.
There you go.
Occasionally. Well, Mike Wagner goes up there occasionally, so, I might
Does he? That's
might
my
chit chat with him.
boy. Love that boy.
Mhm. He was up there for a minute, because, Satu is up there. She lives in Nashville, I believe, or maybe it's a little bit above
Really?
Nashville. Mhm.
Oh, okay.
And then, he mildly retired? I don't know. I might be wrong about that. He anyway, he moved back to Florida, and now he's back and forth, like, once a month.
Really?
He'll, like, pack all of his students in, like, a week. So,
Wow. I don't even remember when he
yeah,
moved to
I might be
Florida.
too much work for him.
He's busy, you know.
Yeah, I know, right? It's like, "Oh, here's a new student, and by the way, the division, you" yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot in that scene. Oh my
Yeah.
god. Like ballroom.
It'd be nice to start as a novice.
Yeah.
It would be nice. I don't think I'm gonna get that, though.
I don't think we're gonna have that chance.
I know, right? It's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
No. So, the next question is, what strengths, does each community have that the other could learn from?
Oh my. Good
Ooh,
question.
and
Um,
I wanna grab that next one.
uh, hmm. What strengths have both of them learned from each other?
So, and it could be in the context of events, it could be in the context of teaching, it could be in the context of community building. So that kinda like
Well, the country circuit for a while, I don't know if you remember, they really were piggybacking off of West Coast Swing, so they're adding West Coast Swing to their events, and some were half and half when the country circuit was dying. So I don't think that they took enough of the examples from the West Coast Swing
ooh,
playbook to survive. That one was
okay.
a tough one anyway. I'm like still thinking. Um,
We could come back to that one.
no, I mean, I don't know if it's gonna make a difference, but whatever you want to do. I'd probably say, but the country community seemed like they were more, I would say probably more community based. Like, I didn't see a lot of, I don't know if this is gonna sound great or not, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Okay. T Rose sexy chocolate. No. I didn't see a lot of snub nose in the air, like if you couldn't dance good enough, like I saw it in the West Coast Swing World. Like in the West Coast Swing World, you have a term, Jennifer, that I didn't even hear of until what was it, last 2 years or so? It's called ageism. I'm like, what the heck is
Yeah,
ageism?
it's a thing.
Then I looked it up, you know, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I guess I kind of seen that a little bit. Now, not back in the day. Everybody danced with everybody from 2 to 92, and I ain't kidding. So awesome. But when it started popping up in the West Coast Swing World, I'm like, this is weird. This is weird. It's not good. It's not inclusive. It's not community building at all. But in the country circuit, that part was more, I guess, stable, I guess you'd say. Or I didn't see a lot of the nose up in the air,
Mhm.
you know.
That's
With
very
that
true.
nose up in the air, they better be glad it wasn't raining, they'd drown.
Wasn't there a bird or something that
Did
did
you
that?
get it? Huh?
Yeah, I did. I did. So, which brings me to my next question. Has moving
Yeah.
between the different dance styles changed the way you teach or how you communicate?
No, no, because how I what what changed how I teach communicate was just growth and learning from others. Like a lot of the pros that I rub elbows with, you can take something from anybody. And there's a lot of good, in my opinion, there's a lot of good teachers out there. There's a lot that I prefer, but there's something you can learn from pretty much anybody. And the ones I learned from, I still keep those with me. Like I learned a lot from, of course, the best, Mario Robal Jr. In my opinion, still today, I learned quite a bit from Deborah Seke. I still have some sayings from her that I love. Brandy Guild, at that time it was Tobias. Love her to death. Um, Blake Hobby, I forget what her married name is, but when I met her, back in the 90s, it was Hobby, Blake Hobby. She used to dance with Bill Cameron, who owns Summer Hummer. And I learned something from her too. So cool. So I still use some things that I learned from those guys, but I coupled it with my own since back then. And 84 with the country and in 86 with the West Coast swing. So that collaboration and putting that together, learning from them, coupled with mine, has actually built a good strength in my teaching, I think. And still I'm learning, because you don't just learn from dance teachers, you learn from other kinds of coaches too, which is awesome. You know what I mean?
Sometimes it's a school of hard
Like sports
knocks.
coaches and
Hmm.
life coach, huh?
Sometimes it's the school
Life
of hard
coaches.
knocks.
I
Yep.
know Columbus. Ah, that one too. Yes.
Hmm.
I'll be honest, that's my biggest school, learning from right there. Yep, 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 yep.
Yeah, mine too.
Yeah, you get it. You get it. Oh my God.
I do. I
Yes.
do.
Yeah, I would say that. Yeah.
What has surprised you the most about watching both communities evolve over the years? Did we already kind of talk about that? We can move
Mm-hmm.
on.
Mm-hmm.
So, building a local scene. That's been kind of your pet project for a little while. Just a little while.
I'm sorry, say that again. I was drinking some water.
You're good. Building a local scene has been one of your pet projects for a little while, like a while. Tulsa has developed a strong dance community. What do you think has made that possible? I mean, obviously you
Well,
and the
yeah,
other
well,
dance.
I'm not the only
Yeah,
one. I was a
I
big
know.
part of it, but Jeannie the Guider here, she's been a big, big influence and part of the growth. But before both of us, it was the swing dance clubs because basically we joined that whenever the Thrive was hype and a lot better than it is today because the swing dance nonprofit clubs is where it all started, and that's where it had its strength and community and family and supportiveness and inclusiveness and trust, good stuff. And those died out, but we carried it a little bit, not the clubs itself, but in supporting the community and teaching classes, stuff like that, and growing dancers. Yeah, that's still kind of ongoing, but COVID put a big, big, massive, gave it a black eye. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah.
So it's still in a slow growing process. We have some other dancers that we've grown that are doing their share portion, like they teach some classes and stuff like that, which is helping. So yeah, that's where we're at. Trying to make
Pretty
it
awesome.
stronger. Stronger.
Wonga
Is that
is kind of
Italian?
like
I don't
my
know.
wage.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No, more like New York. New York.
New York.
Yeah, yeah, something like that.
So, when you're planning like a workshop or a class, what experience do you hope people leave with?
For me, I hope people leave with they've had a great experience. Not only did they learn, but they had a freaking lot of fun. That's my MO. That's my I don't I've told people in my workshops so many times it's like, if you're not here to have fun, get out. I'm joking, of course, but it's like my whole point is we're gonna have some fun. So be ready to have some fun. But you will learn. Trust me, you gonna learn. So those two things together is my I hope they leave having had that experience. That's my brand,
I
by the
agree
way.
with you on that.
Mhm.
Always have fun in your classes. How do
Hercules,
you
Hercules.
balance creating a welcoming atmosphere while still encouraging dancers to improve? I found that to be one of the hardest things that I've had to do. It's like, okay, how do I be inviting and make it fun, yet still want them to strive to get better? You know what I mean? It's kind
Yes.
of that dichotomy of social dancers versus competitive dancers. Like, how do you find that balance?
Ooh, girl, that's a tough one. For me, it was always, trial and error, learn as I go, try as I go. But one of the things I told dancers a lot over the years was, to me, there's a fine line between social dancing and competition. And it's like the dancing is still the dancing. Everybody wants to dance good. I think that when people think about competition so much, they think about the judging aspect, which is there, but that you have to be this. It's like it makes you like this great dancer. But I know dancers that don't compete that are great dancers and even better than some competitors. So to me, there's that fine line. um, it's the mindset. Yes, you're competing, so you want to perform and you have these routines and stuff like that. But when you have your Jack and Jills, that's just social dancing anyway. And I think that whenever you social dance, you want to have the same kind of fun that you have whenever you do your Jack and Jills. It's just going to be slightly different. You're not worried about being judged.
I think everybody that goes out for Jack and Jill's worried about getting judged.
Well, I mean, there's the knowledge of it, but your mindset is like, don't worry about it. Because if you worry about it, then you're not doing yourself any justice. I've also told students, it's like, it's okay to be nervous. I'll tell you my story. I was already a pro, but I was a newly pro, meaning you turn professional there, the West Coast Swing, and I was doing some pro-ams. One year, I was at a event called the Buddy Austin Invitational. It was held in Oklahoma City. And it was in a hotel where when you walk across the dance floor, it's like you're walking toward the backdrop. Behind the backdrop was a door that led into the hallway. You go down a little bit and you can get to the front desk. Follow me?
Mm-hmm.
So right outside the door was where we had to sit waiting for our turn to go walk through that door, get on the dance floor, and they announce you. So that was the setup. Well, while we're waiting back there, I haven't dealt with my nerves yet, but this is the day I made the breakthrough. That day. So whenever I used to get really nervous, I used to hyperventilate. I didn't throw up, but I hyperventilated and I didn't black out. I did what I call whited out. I saw stars, white, and
Ooh.
didn't pass out or anything like that. But it's like, where am I? Then I come to and I'm feeling better. But after I did that I didn't know it was going to happen. I did that in front of a student. I'm like, okay, that's it. It's not going to happen again. You get a hold of yourself, T, and you do what you know how to do. And I went in, did what I know how to do. Everything was fine. But that day, it stopped.
Mind
That
over
made
matter. Yeah.
huh? Yes. So the mindset.
Yeah.
It wasn't perfect, but it's like that didn't happen anymore. I still had to coach myself, but it was easier and easier. But that didn't happen again because I was like, that's the last straw. You got to be there for this and you're the professional. Mind you, I was newly professional, but you are the professional. You can do this. You got to be there for them. Let's
So
get it
this is
done.
your internal dialogue as you're getting ready to go out on the dance floor with your am.
Yes, for me. Yeah, because I didn't want to. We're all nervous and you have to embrace it and let it fuel you, let it so that you have productivity, you're productive on the floor, but not let it rattle you to where you mess up in your routines, you forget because it can happen, that point you want to try to avoid. But just embrace the nerves to know this is real, it's gonna happen. You can't really get around it. You just
Hmm.
have to try to redirect it, use it in a positive way. I had
It
to
takes
coach
some time
myself
to
and
get
it
there,
wasn't
though.
just one. Yeah, like I said, it wasn't perfect. It didn't like just 100% go away, but it did get easier because I kept doing it. I talked to myself, was like, hey, you know how to do this stuff. So just show them what you know how to do. That was it.
So what I'm going off script right now a little bit. If you were to give a freshly minted pro, like somebody that's advanced early all-star, that's got AMs for the first time, what advice would you give them?
I would give them advice. This is one big one. It's like never outdance your am. That's one thing I never did. And I got a lot of compliments off that from pros, event directors. One of the first ones to say it was Chair Peyton, Khalees Key's mom, who at the time, her and Mario were about event directors for America's Classic Championships. And she says she noticed that. And I'm like, well, yeah, this is not about me. This is about the am. You don't want to screw up. So bring forth your skills, but don't outdance your am. That's a big one. And I still see it happening a lot. Um, and it looks like the pro show. And I'm like, nah, that don't sit right. And I think the judging's not reflecting it enough, but that's just my opinion on it.
Do you think that these conversations like we're having right now are happening enough? Like the reflection on, hey, how do you do this as a first time pro? Or maybe it's your second or third time, but still you haven't quite gotten the rhythm of it. You don't understand for sure like what it's about. Like because you're always wanting to put your best product on the floor, right? So
Mhm.
in your mind, how do you tell them that putting your best product out is dancing down? Like, how do you get them to like focus on that? I
Like
dancing
the
your am up. I guess they don't. It's not. It's something that's dancing down is a bad way of thinking about it. But dancing your am up. Like,
yeah.
how does somebody do that? Right? What? How would you say somebody would do that?
I tell you how I
As a
would do it. I've
well,
always done
yeah.
it.
Tell me how you do it,
Yeah, what
please.
I do is I find my AM's strength and I showcase their strengths. And I don't go above their heads. I only push them a little bit to see, kind of what they're made of and let them see what they're made of. And if there's a if we find out that it's too much, then I go just strictly to the strengths. Now, me being a pro, when you're a pro and your skill level's high as a dancer, you can just do your mediocre level of dancing and it's still high enough for the AM. That keeps you below, and it keeps you at least even, and being a little bit above, you're always gonna be above them as far as your performance. But sometimes it gets way off scale where it's like they're looking at the pro and not the AM, and that's the problem. So you wanna showcase your AM strength, whatever that is, and then help them build, enhance that strength and even gain some new skills and help them, nurture that, build those. But when it
Build
comes
those.
time for competition stuff on the dance floor, I tell my AMs, "We're doing what you know how to do.
Yeah.
We're not putting if you don't know how to do if we haven't worked enough on going for the spins, we're not doing those. We're doing those whenever they're clean and you can do them." Yeah? For an example, because you're being judged. This is a social dance that you're being judged, so it's like you wanna put forward, like you said, Jen, your best skills, your best, what words you use? Product?
Um, product. Yeah.
Product on the floor. And your best product on the floor is what you can pull off really well. You can do cleanly, you can do with confidence.
Being as I've
That's what
got a few AMs too, I'm sitting here going, I'm taking notes while I'm recording this, obviously. This
right?
is for posterity.
Well, my AMs too, it's like I'm not a drill sergeant for my AMs, but I'm also not passive at all. They know the difference. And, I tell them, look, it's like if you don't do the solo work, you got to go home and you got to do it. You want to look like these dancers that you look up to. The only way you're going to do it is like do what they did or spend some time, a lot of from what you get advice you get from other people. But the main bottom line thing is do solo work, not just the privates, not just the group classes or whatever, but it's like go work homework. There it is. Do
Yeah.
some homework. And if for some reason the pro forgets to give you homework, then look at your notes and then you make your own homework.
Feel so validated.
Because you do that?
I do. Like I make all my AMs learn their routines so they could dance them by themselves.
Absolutely.
Right? So regardless of whether I'm there or not, I'd be like, okay, it's this time o'clock or whatever. I'm going to touch base. You guys practicing? What you doing now? How's it
Right.
going? What's
Yeah.
busting?
There you go. It's like we all are busy in life. Oh my God, it's like all of us. But it's like, if we want to aspire to something, we want to reach a level, we can't just magically blink ourselves there. We got to put in the work. So that means when you want to put in the work, you got to find the time. And my deal is consistency, not everybody's different, but I'm more of the if I can do it several times a week, so there's repetition rather than
Hmm.
picking 1 or 2 days and doing it for 8 hours. Because you might not be able to take that 8-hour block out and do it. So I'm
Right.
like, just just do more consistency. Now, like I said, everybody's different, but that's what I believe in. And if you can give more time, then you give a little bit more time. But that consistency for repetition is what's important. On your and then when we come together, you will have rehearsed. So now when we get together, we work on how to work out the kinks and stuff, find out what your position is, what are your feet looking like, et cetera, et cetera. But you take your booty home and you go do your homework.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, I got told I was mean.
Oh, they're just sensitive. They're just
Yeah,
sensitive.
that too.
Poor things.
I've gotta learn how to give better praise. I'm too German.
Well, you know what? That reminds me of something that I don't know if I heard it from somebody, but I always just felt it deep inside. With critique, I always give, like you say, praise. So tell them what they did good and what they did bad. I'm always doing that every session. I was like, okay, so this is what you did good. I'm liking this. I was real impressed with that. This is what needs to be cleaned up. Then we can get that was lacking on that level of where you got the praise. That always works out well, but I couple it with both
No,
because
that's great. Like,
we're sensitive creatures.
oh, absolutely, we all are, like, me included in that. I'm a work in progress, I hope all my students know that. I try.
Yeah, but they love
It's from a loving
you.
place,
Right
they do
off.
sometimes.
That's normal.
Um,
That's normal.
so right, sometimes. Um, what's something that organizers often overlook when trying to grow a community that you feel would benefit?
Mm. There's something that I don't, well, I guess they probably would overlook it, but when I go to different dances, I think what I don't see enough of is, like, for instance, go to a dance event and, there'll be a mixer of some sort where it's like, what do you call it? Where it's like, you get the pros out there that you're introducing, and then they have to go out and get somebody, and then those people have
Snowball?
to go get snowball. That's what it is. Yeah.
Mhm.
Things of that nature should happen because, people that are shy, it gets them off the floor. They're being asked. I think that's awesome. I think that should happen a lot. It doesn't have to take all day, but it should
Right.
be something that should be consistent because you don't know what day some new person is going to come and be shy, and then they don't get asked to dance, or they feel withdrawn or whatever, and they don't come back. That's an inclusive thing that I think should happen a lot. Things that will get people to interact and then not feel so shy or embarrassed. And I also think what should happen enough too is I don't know how it's gonna happen, but eliminate the snobbiness somehow. The looking's like, um, I think the snowball will help with that, but it's like, you can't snowball all night.
Well, I
But
know something that
certain
we've
things.
been struggling with for years are the cliques. Like, people will come out to one of the dances, they just kinda hang out with their friends, which I have no
Yeah.
problem with people having friends. I think it's great that they got friends. But what it does, it kinda isolates people coming for the first time. So it's kinda hard to get everybody to start mingling unless you make it everybody's mission to get out there and grab a newbie and, like, make some type of, like, beginner social or something.
Yeah.
Like, "Hey, all you upper level dancers, you're gonna dance with the newbies in the door," or something. But I agree
Yeah.
with you. I think that's a great idea, like doing something like a snowball. Um, you know
Or
what
even
I
something
miss?
like a
Push-outs.
flag. What's it?
I miss push-outs. Everybody
Okay,
gets
I
in the
don't know.
circle and pushes out into the center of the circle and jams, and then next person
Well,
pushes out
we just call them jam sessions, yeah. I don't know
or
about the
jams,
push out. I
yeah.
think we just made a circle, yeah. God, I remember those. That's whenever the music was fast. Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, really fast. I'm like, "Whoo, let's slow it down." Yeah, those are fun too. Those, though, I'm not sure what a push out is 'cause I've never seen it.
It's a jam
So you push
session.
it, but it would end up like a big circle, like what we call our gym sessions. But what happens in the push out again? Everybody crowds in a big circle, and then how
Yeah,
does it
everybody crowds in a big circle, and then one couple ends up in the middle, and then somebody will either steal or the next couple will push out.
Oh, okay, I don't know what that is. I've never seen that then. That's interesting. I'd like to
Yeah,
see
we
what
used to
that
do
looks
that in
like.
Lindy Hop quite a bit.
Really? I'm like, how come I haven't seen it before?
We did it
I've been to
West
so many
Coast quite a
events.
bit too,
Oh,
but they were jam-ish, but
yeah.
haven't done them in a while. I haven't seen them in, I don't
Is that something that you can find on YouTube, like, to see an
mhm,
example?
mhm,
Really? I'm gonna have
absolutely.
to look that up. I wanna
Yeah,
see what that looks like. Out of
I'm pretty
all
sure
the
they're called
freaking
push-outs.
push-outs,
I'm pretty sure it's
Lindy
called
Swing
push-outs.
push-outs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, or
Hmm.
jam circle push-outs, like, I'm sure If you use both those words, it'll pop up for sure.
I really would like to see that. I'm gonna see how different it is from just the jam sessions that we used to do.
Bet you similar.
Okay, cool. Push out to jam circle push out. Awesome.
So,
Yeah.
kinda going into competition a little bit. What
Mhm.
does competition teach that social dancing can't, if anything?
What does competition teach that social dancing can't? Yeah, you hit me with these good questions here, girl. I've never had to think about that really.
I know, like, when I'm teaching competitors, we're focusing on, like, precision, right? We're getting reps, so it's the same every time, right?
I
Like,
see what you're
I
saying.
I know for me anyway. When I'm teaching social dancers, I feel like they're there for having fun. They wanna be introduced to
Yeah,
some
yeah,
concepts, but that's my take on it,
that's
you
true.
know? How do you
Okay,
feel
I
about it?
see where you're going with this. I was a different. I was thinking something different. I
Oh,
would
okay,
have to
we
agree
can go
with
your
that.
route. That's okay.
Well, no way of thinking. That's why I didn't have anything. So now that you said your piece there, adding to it, well, first I have to say I agree. Um, but when you're competing, it teaches you how to perfect skills, actions, and things like that. You want to make sure that you don't trip over your own feet. So you'll practice that footwork. So you'll
Mhm.
repeat it. Social dancing, it doesn't really lend itself to really have to do that. Social dancing. See, but here's the thing with me and the whole, I just want to have fun. I've struggled with this one for a long, long time. I just want to have fun. And I don't know how this is going to go over, Jen, but I'm going to say it anyway because it's just been on my mind and my heart. I just want to have fun. And I'm like, okay, well, what does that look like? Nobody's answered that question that said that. And to me, I'm like, okay, you want to have fun, but is it fun for the other person you're dancing with? This isn't solo, this is partnering. So I'm like, if you want to have fun and I'm feeling like you're going to pull my arm out of my socket because you don't know this dance, that's not fun for me. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
And it's like the whole "I wanna have fun" thing, I think is just such a vague comment that it's like, what does that even mean? I think the better you get, the more you learn, the more fun you can have. And if you're trying to give somebody else a good dance, you're gonna have fun too. That's my take on it.
Agree
Now, a
with
new
that.
person's not gonna know that, but it's like it's something I think that should be encouraged to them. They should learn that and teach that because they're coming into a world that they're not used to, that's new for them. So when you come into a new world, there are things about this world that you wanna learn if you wanna be part of it. But I just never got that. I just wanna have fun.
Well, girls,
Oh,
they wanna
this
have
you?
fun.
Yeah, yeah.
I
The
like my
first time
shoulder
I
though.
pro
Like my shoulder.
Huh?
I like my shoulder though.
Yeah, girl, I just I yeah, yeah.
It's different for everybody too. Like I feel like some people just they don't want to do the reps to improve, but they want to get good enough to social dance, and then they're like, okay, I'm done with competition or learning all the precision and whatnot. And I think it's just different for everybody. And I think part of it probably has to come down to what you were talking about earlier, that level of anxiety
Yeah.
for like some people for competition. It's always going to be there. So that's never going to be fun for them. Right, but then again, you've got people that were, like, I don't know, professional athletes, and they love being in the front of the camera,
Mhm.
like you.
This is true. Uh-oh, busted. Busted, you found me
Busted.
out.
So, it's one of those things, like, when I was younger, I used to have ridiculous stage fright, I mean, just stupid every time, but I was, a soloist. I played, jazz trumpet for years all through high
Nice.
school. Yeah, I got scholarship in college,
Dang, girl.
yeah, so,
Okay.
but, when it came to dance and music, I had to choose which was gonna be my master. So
Yeah.
I found out because I couldn't spend that much time I couldn't if I wanted to be good at one of them, I needed to give one up, like what you came to with country. I came to between music and dance. And it really came to a head when, the band I was a part of got hired to play for our local Lindy Hop group, and I'm like,
Yeah.
"Oh, this is cool. I wish I was dancing."
Oh, yeah, okay.
Right, and
That's the
and that kinda that sealed the deal for me, I was done.
Yep, right there,
Yep,
yeah, it's called the
turned in my
fever.
T-shirt, and I'm like, "I love you guys. If you need anybody sitting in for you, I'm good." Um, But, that's all right.
Do you still have that instrument?
I have a few trumpets.
Do you?
A
Do you ever
few.
break it out, like, just randomly, like, "I wanna play this, I wanna"
Gosh. So, um, yeah, not with any regularity. So, like, your
Ruh-roh.
chops? Right. If you don't do it regularly, you lose it. If you don't use it, you
What
lose
went
it.
wrong?
I'm doing a podcast at our venue.
Oh, the internet? The Wi-Fi
Yes.
there?
Yeah, but, that'll learn me.
I was trying to look for something that I I came across that spoke the words that I believe in, but more eloquently. And it goes, solo practice builds individual muscle memory. Partner practice builds connection, timing, and teamwork. Focused rehearsals turn those two things into a polished performance so that, each come prepared and become productive. I like that.
I like that too.
That's a cleaner, short versions of how, because this was something I was giving to my students and they're preparing for the routine. And I thought that
It's the
was,
same thing with music too.
yeah,
Solo practice,
yeah.
you have drills. Absolutely. Yeah. Arpeggios, like all kinds of little drills that you have to work on for articulation, working on your strengthening your muscles. And then you need to learn the music, and then you need to learn it with your group and practice it with your group. And then you need to focus on different sections. Like it's similar. At least at
Absolutely.
the no, actually I think at any level it's taught from the base when you start learning how to play an instrument.
Yeah.
You start to learn those tools. I don't feel like we learned that quite as well in dance when I was younger with ballet, and it was like ballet is the technique.
Hmm.
Go.
That's it. Okay.
Contemporary. Have fun.
That's a
Right?
good one. Just
Go.
go do it. Oh my gosh.
Do it.
That's funny.
Express yourself.
And good luck.
And good luck. But in teaching your students, like the ones that have routines, how did you help them stay focused? Did you have that saying that you just kind of preach it to them and you're like, okay, work on your individual stuff, right? Do your drills, then
Definitely.
drill your dance, like your routine, and then come together. Like, did you have that moment that you talked to them about it, or how do you coach it? How do you coach somebody like that?
Actually, I did. In the very beginning, I kind of touched on a little bit, because their enthusiasm was there before I started choreographing the routine. I talked about those things kind of lightly, but we're discussing like, what they wanted from it and how many events they were trying to go to, stuff like that. But I found that as we went through in the months that I had to circle back and reiterate, but go deeper, say more, like really, really hammer it down. And, it comes with the territory, but that's the part of being a coach, right? What I do with any of my students, whether they're doing a routine or just, trying to do Jack and Jills or whatever, I say, we're going to have some check-ins. I need you to report to me and tell me what's going on. Now, I'm not saying you have to, you message me every day. Please don't do that. But it's like, let's have a check-in so I can see what your progress is and what you need help with. Because I want to make sure that you're practicing right so we don't have to undo something because of how you practiced. So they have to send me a video. It's like set the camera up, whatever, you make it happen. But film yourself
That
and I want to see
accountability.
what's going on.
I
Therefore, when
love
we
that
get together, I
accountability.
already know what's
Right.
going on. I'm like, okay, so this is what you were doing when you were practicing. That's not what we choreographed. This is why it's happening, you know, yada, yada. But it
I get
makes
you.
them more responsible and helps them stay somewhat focused because they know that they have to, some do it last minute. Hey, we're human. I get it. But they have to get it to me before they get to that lesson. Because if they don't, then I'm
Okay.
like, okay, I understand it happens, but let me tell you something. You're wasting time, my time and yours, when you don't make that happen. Because now we can't move forward. We got to address this. Well, if I skip it, you're going to be lacking. I'm not going to do that. So that's your responsibility. You have to do that. You know, I deliver things cool. I'm not mean. Like I said, I'm not a drill sergeant, but I know when
You're
to be
not.
serious because I'm like, hey,
Yeah.
how are you going to get there if you keep
Yeah.
doing it this way? It's just real. I'm just talking real, baby. You got to give them the lips. Yeah, freeze again.
So sorry.
You froze again when your lips were like, just when I was saying, yeah, you got to give them the lips.
And stink eye. Oh no.
You done? What happened?
Uh, yeah, the internet just okay.
What had happened was,
There. I'm swapping over to my hotspot. I give up on
yeah,
this.
I have to do that sometimes. On my screen, I'm seeing this pin icon, like you want to pin something to, the message or whatever. Can I just drag that out of the way or
Think so.
like right in front of my face?
Mm.
I don't know. Okay. I don't see it. Oh, whenever I put my cursor in front of yours, it pops up, but it's just staying there for mine. I didn't know if that was something I could move. I can't move it. Can you see me fine? Is anything in front of my face?
See you fine. Yeah, absolutely. Well,
Okay, then it must be on our own screens that we can see.
yeah, I think I had one too, but I think I hit the X. Well,
Where's that X?
do you want to keep going with this? You want me to switch to my hotspot, which will disrupt
Uh,
this?
yeah, do whatever you think's gonna make it better.
Okay. Well, now we're talking and it's not doing anything.
Oh, so
So
are
it
you on
looks
your
like it's
hotspot?
fine. I'm not on the hotspot right now. I turned it on.
Oh,
I've got it on here as a secondary, so I can just jump over to it real quick if it starts doing stupid.
okay, cool. Yeah, that
Yeah.
works.
Okay.
Yeah, girl.
So, I try.
That's all we can do, right?
That's right. So, how has your mindset before competing changed over the years?
Before competing?
Like that inner dialogue. Like we talked about that a little bit, but how has it
Yeah.
changed from that beginning to like for your personal dance?
Well, for me, it was that, like I said, I had that breakthrough. Once I told myself, it was more, you know what it was more of? And I did think about this and I realized it was the case. It was because I didn't believe enough for myself. I know it sounds strange after 40 years of doing this dance and all the accomplishments, but that's still a real human thing. And even people at the very top can have some of those insecurities, right?
Mhm.
That was one of mine. Didn't believe as much in myself or not enough in myself. So that would happen to me. But whenever I had that breakthrough and I talked to myself, I'm like, you know how to do this dance, you know how to do these things. It's like you're your own problem. Well, change it. And
Mm,
then you got an am here too, that's more important than anything. You got to do something. That's when I made that decision. From there, I just kept remembering what I told myself. And so that helped me uh, build the confidence to it's like just the realism. Be real. You know this is true and you're still growing, but you know what you know, you know what you know. Just do what you freaking know, boy. And then my confidence got better. The nerves were still there. They are still there. I would be worried if I wasn't nervous.
uh-huh.
That's what would bother me. So I think the nerve sometimes makes me feel alive. And I'm like, okay, I know I've got something to do. Now get your mind in the right place and let's do this. You've done it too many times before. It ain't no different. Just do it, huh?
Let's get your game face on.
Yeah, get your game face on. Let's go. My game face is just happens to be a part of me. So, yeah, yeah. So now it's just more like I don't have to talk to myself very long. It's so quick. It's just like a light switch. Boom. You know what you got to do. Let's go. You love music. Listen to it. You got a partner. Get into them. Let's go. See
Is
what
there a
happens.
certain like competition that just kind of like flipped the script for you, like just completely changed the direction of your dance career?
Boy, you're good with these questions, girl.
Chat
Um,
GPT is good for something.
Chat GTP. Darn you know. Um, like a specific event or a competition division like classic or showcase or I
Yeah,
mean,
okay.
well,
Like a major thing that impacted you, that made the world change for you. It
think
could be an
over so many
experience. It
years.
could have been something that happened at one event. Could have been the whispers somebody put in your ear before going out on the floor at the US Open or wherever.
Oh, actually, you know what? I don't know if there's one thing. I think there are several things that kind of shaped me and gave me epiphanies or a big boost of confidence that made improvements for me,
Mhm.
emotionally, mentally, you know. Uh it was the year I turned pro in 1992. I think that the point system had just maybe been created or was still formulated, and I had been dancing for, let's see, what was it, 86 to 92? What is that? 6 years? Maybe 5 and some change? And, there was a gentleman that was, at the time, I think he was president of I think it was our Sooner Swing Club, Oklahoma Swing Dance Club, and I was about to go in to do my first pro competition. You had your Charlottes, the greats back then, your Charlottes, your Robert Cordova was back then, we're all young, and Michelle Kincaid and, all these big names that are like some of them are still judging, right? And, he was sitting outside the door, to the ballroom, and he stopped me because we talk a lot, and he started showing me some of his moves, which is cool. He had these little armband stuff, and then he started talking about timing, and he said, basically, about, what do you call it? I'm wanting to say he said rolling count or something like that. And I didn't know what he was talking about, and he was trying to explain it to me, and my mind is still ready to go in here to get ready to compete. And so it just didn't register. He goes, "Don't worry about it. You already do it." Okay. So that was a positive, but I still didn't know what he was talking about. Fast forward just a little bit, I learned what that is. I'm like, oh, okay. Boom. I was like, okay, so I already do that. It's something I already focus on. That's going to be something that's going to be a big part of me. And that's how timing for me became a big thing, like my big focus. So diving into footwork a lot and starting to think about timing more in depth with music, the beat structure, the structure between the percussion and the bass that drives the music, the inflection of the lyrics and the timing of that, all this stuff before anybody was really thinking of it. It was because of him that he catapulted that. He sparked that change in me. I'd already been kind of thinking about it, but I didn't know what to do with it and didn't know where to go with it because West Coast swing for me was still, I hadn't fully embodied it, got the full grasp of it like I do now. But that kind of helped because the timing, like, can I do these things? Is it okay? Some of the questions that your student asks you, are you allowed to do that? I was asking myself, not knowing that I could, but that helped
Mhm.
me with that count. So that's what now I'm starting, the dots are starting to connect. I know what to do with this footwork now. I hear that in the music. That was huge for me. That was a freaking game changer. Now, timing's like my forte, and I love it. It's like, you want to talk about time? Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go.
We get
I'm
time.
all over that, baby. The music, whoo, sucky, sucky.
So, how do you define success today compared to when you first started competing? Like, it's old hat. Competing's old hat now, right?
Yeah.
Like, when you started, your goals were to get to the next, competition or kick somebody's butt or get out there and have the best dance you can have. Like,
Yeah.
what's your mindset now versus your motivation? Like, I imagine it's completely different. Like, now your mindset's like, I've been doing this. I know how to do this. Let's go do this. Let's have some fun. Like, I don't know though. I mean, you may have a different idea. Like, what was important to you back in the 80s and 90s might be different than what's important to you now when you're out competing.
Well, it was the mindset of you wanna go out and you kick everybody's butt. I mean, that hasn't changed. I still wanna kick everybody's butt. Who doesn't, right? But, uh, yeah, that's still the same. The way I go about it's different. I'm like, what I want is I want that great dance with who's on the other end of my hand. I've always wanted that, but I think about that more than I did back then. Back then, there was a term called pattern junkie. What a pattern junkie
Mhm.
was is someone that only did patterns. They didn't know how to play with the music. They didn't know how to play with the timing. You know, that was before hijack and all that stuff was even talked about or came about and all that. And pattern junkie was a negative term. And when I heard that, I'm like, I don't want to be that. So that's when I started thinking more about the music and playing with footwork, playing with the timing within the patterns and stuff like that. That kind of lend itself to trying to be a better dancer rather than trying to just go out to win. And coupled with, I want to give my partner the best dance that I can. I want to deliver that to whoever that is on the other end of my hand. Hello, is it just me again?